That was an excerpt from Rosen E23 SD010 on selective disorder. Yeah. HR Drescher is asking me for something for this label. Anything. So, maybe I'll do that. Like literally anything. That'll be. I can literally just choose any track from a hard drive. Just choose one at random. I mean, it's got to be finished at least, doesn't it? Does it? I think it has to be finished. Pretty much all my tracks that are finished get released, but that's okay. I can just give them one of those. I've come on today because I want to come on just for a short time and show what I was working on the other day, but it's kind of like a continuation of what I was doing on the live stream, on the last live stream, which was like Friday night, I think. Let's load it, see what happens. Zoom in, zoom. No dropped frames yet. I need a glass of water though, my throat is very dry. Let's load up. So, I've actually spent a lot of time improving my studio setup. Not physically, but inside the computer, my environment. So I spend a lot of time in. I can't remember the key command for something. Where's it gone? Control. Where is it? Win and escape. That's made it go off. I do want to go in here. Turn this. Turn it back on again to get rid of the delay. Okay, we're back on. What have we got? Got this. I've outdone myself, like, I've done pretty well. Self-reflection. It's probably the best. Like, I love Noisia, and I've always thought that their productions out of reach. GG, Gigi, thank you. That's tough. I like that. Well, that way of describing it, tough. I always thought noisy production, it's always been out of reach for me, but I think I'm slowly starting to, be able to do those kind of moves. Like, it's subtle. There's some like less is more. Someone said on the last live stream, less is more. We all know we know less is more, don't we? But I mean, remembering to do it and actually putting it into practice is like, I think you've got to do more first and then start stripping away at it. That's how I think I've done it anyway. Produced by Wavesy. How are you doing? I don't get how people like this type of music is just random weird sounds, in my opinion. Nice. But you gotta have you gotta have a lot of time and talent to make it. You know how the world works. Wavesy, wavesy. You know what's going on here. You appreciate it, don't you? You appreciate it because you sort of see what goes into it. That's good. Thank you. See, Kendo, the young producer. Kendo, welcome. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, there's a lot of drums on this, and like more than a lot of drum and percussion tracks on this actually, and yeah, I think it helped me to see a while ago, a few years ago. It was noisier again. They did a little video of one of their. It was a two-parter, and you had to pay for the second part. But I saw the first part, and it was a real eye opener. The size of their projects, they're like this sort of size, really. There's this many little clips, different basses and different sounds. One thing they've got over this, what I'm doing here though on this project, is more like sound effects, like little just one-off, one-shot, like little wave files of just like little something that's sort of like somewhere between percussion and synth stab. It's just like these little, it's like the whole track is peppered with these, it's noisy track, you know, with these little sounds. Whereas at the moment all I've got here is, yeah, I've got some drum fills, I've got like little vocal things on this track that's minimized, and all these are like little basses, so that's like 10 tracks there. Not really putting any lasers or little synthy sounds yet. That's a whole another thing that I could be doing. But what I feel like I've really made progress with is the drums. My drums were struggled with to make them sound clear but not harsh. And groovy, more importantly groovy. Cheers, Wavesy. Kento, hell yeah. I love producing drum and bass. So it's something I'm trying to work towards. Oh yeah. I mean, that's it. You listen to noise. Noise is like one of those benchmark, like it's a high benchmark to reach. High, what do they call it? Do you know what I mean? A high target, innit? Because all the stuff they play on their radio show, on their podcast, is like that level. It's at that level, isn't it? And I'm like, how do I even make it sound that clean but still groovy? And I'm always asking that type of question to myself and not really getting an answer, but trying stuff anyway, and then sometimes hitting it like this. Danforth, how you doing, bro? Nice. Oh, downloaded the rest of the sounds for GarageBand, so it comes with loads of sounds, did it? 17 gigs. To a milestone. Yeah, is it a milestone? I was thinking of not high watermark, not benchmark. It's just a high standard. It's high standards. I don't know. Yeah, it is. It could be a milestone in my journey. Yeah. Like I feel like I've got a bit. It's weird because I feel like I've sort of gotten my head around the Dillinger sound of the 2000s and 2010s. Benchmark. It's kind of a benchmark, and it's like a test. Dillinger's heavy basses and like distorted drum breaks, but they weren't, you know, compared to today's production. Listening back on it, that's not exactly clean, and there's this whole clean sound thing now with D&B. That's been for a long time. So I'm always doing that kind of thing, trying to go make things sound clearer than they did in the 2000s, before producers started using like ducking on everything, volume shaping on everything, or on the basses. But yeah, lots of tracks. It's a lot of to save time though. I have like reused. I've perhaps started about 10 different tracks with this set of layered breaks, and then each time I start a new one, I just cut a few more things away or EQ it differently. So there is sort of some time saved. I haven't just built this entirely from scratch and will never use it again. It's like things in my music making process get reused a lot and changed, because that means you're able to start up a project, load a project today, and instantly you've got something to play with, which is just helps creativity so much, helps you get into the flow a lot quicker. So yeah, I could just tonight I could delete all these bases here and use this drum bus and just make a whole new tune with this drum bus, because these sound. I've blasted this in the car today, and it sounds good. The drums sound good on it. So that doesn't mean they are good, but better than my harsh drums that I quite often make. We're Ableton 12 point. Hi Kazuya. 12.26. Yeah. And it's 12.3. It's just around the corner, innit? Don't know how around the corner. What's coming on November the 11th? I can't remember. There was something. I don't know what it was. Yeah, I don't know. I might change I probably will change the intro on this. It's like this. It's got some cheesy strings. I don't even know how I made that sound. This sound is a Reese. It was a Reese. That's the Reese, and then I added this into it, and it's suddenly this totally different thing. Oh, and drum bus. That has changed things a bit, putting drum bus on the end. Yeah, the reason why I won't go for beta is because I always make this mistake. A new version of Ableton comes out, and I update it, and some things don't work. There's bugs, and the absolute worst is it'll crash in a place where it didn't used to crash, and to me it's not worth it. It's not worth upgrading when something's so fresh out of the gate. Whenever I have waited for later versions of Ableton, like wait for it to get to like 12.1 or 12.2, and they find out all those little bugs. But getting a beta of 12.3 is pretty safe. That's probably quite a safe move. But I think I'd wait for 12.3 point something, so that it's definitely like, and that's probably one of the most stable versions you get ever of Ableton, isn't it? By the time it gets to point 3, it's, in my experience, it's pretty trustworthy. I can't remember what the I think, is it 12.3 you can bounce group. You can bounce a whole group, which I always wanted to do, but now I don't have any use for it. Because I've got rolling sampler now, that plugin called rolling sampler, where I can just whack a rolling sampler on a group and just play the track and then drag the WAV into any like track. Alright, Pex, how you doing? Yeah, hope you well. I'm good. I wasn't going to come on because it's midnight already, and I'm trying to stop myself going on past midnight, even though that's when the most activity is. I think that's when the most other people are willing to watch. I might start going on earlier, like at 9 o'clock or something. But we'll see. I'm pretty knackered though. Good to see you on Pex. Yeah. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing the tunes and stuff like that. Castrovite. How would you say that? It's a good name anyway. It's like Castrovite. Thank you for following. What does it mean? So, unsupervised tracks, nice. Oh, and also, so yeah, I've spent the past maybe week and a bit sorting out my macros, because I use auto hotkey to load up. So if I like press Control F5, I've automated it so it will like go to the search bar, type in Serum 2, press enter twice, and then it will just load up in the track. I've got loads of those, and I've tidied them up because some weren't working. Printed them out on the wall so I could see them right there, nice and big. And it was so dark in here. I've had to get a light pointing at it so I can see. I can see the hotkeys, because there's nowhere else to put it. There's nowhere else to put a printout of all the hotkeys, and I can't possibly remember them all. It's too many, way too many. What else did I do? I've updated Duck Buddy to the latest version, but I don't think the ring modulation thing works on it. And then I remembered Kilohertz Compactor, which is a ring mod sidechainer. So I've been playing with this, and it works pretty well. Sounds good. Sounds pretty transparent actually. I've not actually done waveform analysis of it yet to see exactly how good it is. I mean, theoretically, it should be work as expected, but I still have to do my own. I just want to confirm that it's exactly what it's supposed to be doing by using Syscope. Actually, let's do that now, shall we? Let's turn off mono the kick, so it's just kick, and let's just hear the kick. There's the kick. Pretty chunky kick, that, isn't it? Why is there a delay on that then? That's weird. No latency. There's all that delay. Strange, isn't it? I think there's some. Oh, it's because I've got so many L2s. Yeah. I've got L2s on buses. I didn't used to do this. I've got an L2 on the bass bus and on the drum bus. So what I'm doing now is I'm squashing the living the living, insert your favorite word, the living shit out of the wave, and it exposes some flaws doing that in a good way, so I can go back into the mix, fix them. Anyway, it's using a limiter, and then combining them on the main bus, and yeah, so they're as loud as possible by the time they go to the main bus. I don't know why I didn't do that before as much as I'm doing it right now. Anyway, there's your kick. So can you see it on the screen right? There's the kick. Here's just the bass. I think what we need to do is change the beat. It's only one beat. That's why that's why it's freaking weird. 2 bars. Let's go back up here. Alright, there's our kick. Let's change it to 1 bar. Nice clear kick all on its own. and here is the bass. Note where the start of the kick is. So we've got this amount of duck. It goes nice and quiet for us. It doesn't go completely silent, which I usually do. In fact, oh yeah, sorry. This is it without the compactor on. Seen that? That's the clean bass signal coming through, and with compactor on, does that, and it sounds distorted. But that's because it's making room for the kick in between these peaks here. So if we turn the kick on, we get that, and it does sound distorted. Yes. Does it sound better? That's what I've got to test. Yeah, I can't do that test right now. What I'd usually do, or what I have done as well, is use the combination of ducking. So let's turn off compactor and see what happens to the wave. We should see it now go above the top of there. Seeing that huge peaks. We don't want that going into the limiter. That will cause our main master channel to do more work. Whatever limiters and compressors we use in there, we might not want this freaky big waves of two waves combining. So that's where, you know, compactor can solve that problem with that, and it has those artifacts, that kind of crunchiness. But how I used to use it was use Duck Buddy, so just like a side chain, and it will do this. Oh, that's only set to -35, but if we go all the way, see that? As you can hear, the bass, the mid bass, kind of disappears. But we can change this envelope here to try and make it disappear for as short as possible. Seeing that, so that's as short as we can get it, really. We can maybe just increase it a bit. So there's a tiny bit of the signal getting through there. Right, seeing it? It's there. If we put this depth all the way down, that will disappear completely, like complete silence. So that's how I have been doing it. But now I can use a combination of Duck Buddy. So let's get it to sort of there, like about halfway, 36 dB. So we've got these freaky peaks, but then we turn on compactor to ring mod sidechain it, and bang, all disappeared. So we've got best of both. We've got ducking and we have ring mod sidechaining, which is kind of like intersample peak. It's like instant limiting, basically. Ring mod sidechaining kind of it doesn't explain what it is. But the way they've explained it, with the way Kilohertz explains it in compactor, is you put into sample peak mode, which kind of explains what's going on. So we've put and it has these 3 settings, which I've not seen on other ring modulators before. This is the pre-seek. How far ahead the audio is ducked, so it starts the ducking earlier, so that's kind of like a pre-look ahead kind of thing. The hold, how long it's ducked once the input is no longer above the threshold, and release, how long it takes for the audio to return to full volume once the input is no longer passes the threshold. So, but because it's on in-sample peak mode, all this happens very, very, very quickly. Like with every peak, it's if all these are set to 0, if there's a sine wave that goes up and down like that, once it's gone down, there's space for the signal to come through. It lets the signal through in that bit that's not loud. And then once the sine wave goes back up off the kick, it quietens it down again, so you just hear that bit of the kick. So it happens very fast. And that's what's amazing about ring mod sidechain. But it does have that artifact that you can hear here. It's like a spluttering at the beginning. Turn it off. On. So there's a trade-off. This is a trade-off. In loud sounding music, the benefits that you're getting from ring mod sidechaining, it's distortion, but it's controlled distortion, whereas if you made it loud just by pushing everything into a clipper, it might override your master, so your master might be working too hard. In a way, you know, you don't want it to work. So it's always best to, if you can solve the problem in the mix somewhere before it gets to the master, then you have like the master can just do less work, which usually sounds better. But obviously, if that was bothering you, yeah, I have been productive. Yeah, so I've tidied up my system. The only thing I haven't got around to is actually making loads of samples and categorizing them correctly so I can find them quicker next time. What I'm doing at the moment, kind of, you know, every so often I'll save a preset into a place and then I'll find it next time. But I need to do that a lot more, because I feel like I've got loads of sounds and they're all buried in projects not saved yet. Hello Ryan, how you doing? Use Shaperbox on the kick as well, yeah. Right, Mark. As an envelope, then invert the waveform. For the bass, yeah, that'll do it as well, yeah. That's kind of what Duck Buddy does, yeah, like exactly the same thing. Then you'll lose the distortion. That combat, oh right. Interesting. Shaperbox on the kick. And invert the waveforms, yeah. Does sound like sidechaining. You can also give the illusion of a clipped kick drum in kick 3 without it sounding clipped. Nice. I've not got kick 3 yet. Do you think I should get it? Is it better than kick 2? Because I thought kick 2 has served me so well. And when I have used it, it works really well. But TKI Muse. Bro, your screen is following your mouse. How do you do that? That is OBS and a plugin called OBS Zoom to Mouse, all free. I made a tutorial on how to install it because it wasn't that easy. So this is the first time I properly used Compactor, like last night. Yeah, it was. And Duck Buddy, I've only been using that today, I think. I mean, I've been using Duck Buddy for years. I've been using Duck Buddy for years, but Duck Buddy 2 version 2. They've kind of streamlined the interface a bit. The ring mod doesn't work on it. It doesn't seem to actually work. I'm having a good night, TKI. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm up late tonight again. I just got to door myself. What are you making? Yeah, Mark, your mixes are sounding good, mate. Like you getting. I think the proof is in you getting signed to lots of times. So I've not even tried this. It looks so simple. This interface, but there's this stereo thing here as well. And I'd have to put two ears on for that. Orchestral stuff, yeah, no way. Yeah, no, I've got a lot of respect for that. Like, yeah. Oh, thanks for following TK Muse. Yeah, I've forgotten who that guy is that I've seen do it. I've followed lots of tutorials to do orchestral stuff, and I'm just like, I want to do it myself. There's because I love classical music as well. And there's some stuff, some pieces that are, you know, have amazing qualities, especially, you know, the use of dynamic, like to make something dynamic and the emotion that you can put in that and how you can pull that off inside a computer, you know, like, and seeing how it's done with orchestral instruments gives like a really good insight, I think, into it. Who was it? I can't remember the names, but there was someone who I saw, this German woman, and she was using automation just for volume, like on every note, like using, you know, not relying on an attack, like an attack knob to swell a note. And a violin doesn't have an attack knob anyway. But so yeah, like doing a whole string section and then automating the level of it up and then down. And I'm just like, just seeing that made me go, do you know what? Like, it's worth the extra effort. Like doing automating everything like that to give, to put more movement and emotion into something. So yeah, I mean, I wish I could write orchestral score stuff. Like, it sounds like you can. Like, you know, just like I can make beats, I bet you can do, you know, sort of some nice orchestral music with lots of textures. Big up, Matt. Capatta's great. It's the distortion. It doesn't work for everything. It doesn't work. Yeah, I think for this track I'm making now, it yeah. I might not keep it. I might keep it lower it, because you can, you know, you can change the release to sort of lessen it, kind of, to lessen that distortion, smooth out a bit. But yeah, my usual technique, you know, just like you say, using a something, I can't remember what plugin you said now. What was it? Shaper Box, yeah. One of them, or Duck Buddy, or even people hand draw in the sidechain automation, don't they, for the kicks. If your track is only 3 minutes long, it's not that many kicks, and you can just copy and paste it, can't you? But I like to use this. I like to use Duck Buddy, and this has done me well a lot. Like, quite often, my mid bass will, if my bass completely disappears, like if I want the sine wave to completely disappear and go silent whenever there's a kick, which I more often than not do. I want my sine wave to not be happening at the same time as the kick, and the mid bass sounds like it's disappearing completely, and I need it to be audible. Then I end up duplicating that bass track, sending the sine wave to be fully ducked, and sending the mid bass to only be ducked a little bit. So I end up with twice as many bass tracks, because every bass track has now got its own sine wave, and the mid bass is high passed. And does it sound better? It should do. It depends what the track is. Like, if you listen to Nick the Lot, pretty much his signature sound is almost complete silence whenever there's a kick and a snare. So there's just this constant massive pumping, but he's placing the basses outside of those pumped regions, so there's nothing lost. You know, there's just all these sounds and all this movement. It's almost like serial sounds, like nothing, no two things are playing at once. But no, he does play like two things at once for sure. It all sounds very distorted, but not in a normal way. It kind of just sounds very loud. He's definitely going for like high lofts, but yeah, his sounds are crazy as well. Like, I can't get, his sounds are on a different level, his bass sounds. Like they sound like a tube, like he's sent. You know, those like whirly tubes that are like corrugated tubes that you swing around that make like a woo, like that. Like imagine making a bass sound down one of those tubes, and the sound that come out. This guy, his bassist sounds like he's doing crazy resonances like that. It's like 80 little musicians in the computer. I mean, it's amazing that if you can do it, because that's the challenge. Is you think it can be done? There must be a way of doing it. There must be a way of making that orchestra sound, or just some kind of rich tapestry of organic instrument sound within the computer, because you know there's so many libraries out there. How do you? Oh, I have a question for you, TKI Moves. I don't know if you've got time before you go. One question for you. If you've got a fight, if you've got a 2 minutes, is he gonna go? Is he gonna go? Is she gonna go? No. I might forget now. Oh, yeah. So, how do you get a really good? I think some instruments are easier than others. Like strings, I think are you can make them sound authentic, but like brass, how do you do that? How do you make brass sound authentic? Can you do it? Are you good at it? That's kind of like a few questions. I need to be more specific. I did say one question, didn't I? Sorry. Brass is the most. How do you fake it though? How do you are you good at it? Like have you had a lot of trying to make it sound like good? I don't know what I would do. I love the sound of brass. Serum 2 has some like pretty good brass presets where it's like a mixture of real brass samples and like mad sort of saw wave over the top. Makes multiple libraries. Lots of expression mapping. Nice. Contact libraries. Yeah, they're the ones I use. I've got 2 of the contact libraries from a long time ago, and you know, I do use Ableton's own like orchestra sounds. They're not great, but sometimes they work and you know solve a problem, like better than making a synthetic string sound. But yeah, thanks TK for a big brass section. I'll mix Note Performer from Sibelius with lots of expression. Note Performer, I don't know what Note Performer is. Oh right, Spitfire. Yeah, see, I've not tried a Spitfire one yet. That sounds good. You're using Sibelius then? Yeah, serious. You know what you're doing. Notation, using notation. So have you heard the sidechain on Meth Just Step Back? Let's have a quick listen, shall we? Is your music on had you released your own new music, TK? Or do you like work for like music libraries and stuff? Step.
It's time to step back.
Take from Sibelius, producing Logic, samples to get this thing.
It's time to step back.
Nice, yeah, you can hear that kick ducking, like, I think it's almost ducking to silence, isn't it? And the transient of the snare as well sounds like it's making everything go away just for that brief moment. Whoa, another build up. It's only just kicked in. It's doing another one.
Get down, move over.
Nice. Good track suggestion there, Mark. TKMU's released a bunch of old video game OSTs. I can't remember. Oh, what's an OST? I can't remember what OST is. It's going to be really obvious, isn't it? Orchestral stuff coming soon, but original soundtracks. Okay, nice. Are you under this name? Yeah, TKI Muse. Orchestral stuff coming soon, but someone's on YouTube. Oh yeah, okay, nice one, mate. I'll is this you? Wait, adventure in game music. Nice. Yeah, I'll check some of your stuff out. Nice one. It's mad that, isn't it? I love orchestral, but do you know what I like? I love. Yeah, there's some music that I can't. Yeah, I'm just listening to the technical side of stuff that I can't listen to. I can't even think like opera. I'm just like, this is like, wow, she can really sing. Like, wow, that's quite a voice, but I'm not. God, I just can't. I'm not a massive song person either. I don't really listen to songs much, but I think opera is out of most people won't listen to opera for the similar reasons. What, even opera? That was like, I'll listen to anything. What, even opera? I'm like, but anything else? No, I mean, like, do you know what? Speed, not what's it called now? Breakcore, right? I love jungle. I love jungle that goes a bit nuts as well and goes a little bit hard. But breakcore, it's too random for me. It sounds too random, and I'm like, and just random, not just sounding random, but it sounds a bit distorted as well. Like I'm just like, no, I like D&B. I want a bit of soul in them. I want a bit of soul in the music, not just make your ears bleed. But maybe I'm getting old. Maybe I was old by the time someone had introduced me to breakcore. I was only 30. I was still listening to hard D&B. But my mate loves breakcore, and he won't stop loving it, and that's fine. Naylor. I listen to some music purely to appreciate the complexity and craftsmanship. Yeah. Have you ever heard of Autechre? Autechre. 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 That is just the maddest. What they do is the best. It's like they've got their own genre and they're the only ones sitting in it. And if you ever make anything that's that level of glitchy, algorithmic, mathematical kind of like rhythmic, polyrhythmic stuff, it sounds like you're making Autechre stuff. They're that established in their own sound. It's mad. But I love Autechre, and you don't know what's going on. You don't really know what's going on with. There's two of them. And one of them's making these mad machines in the computer, and the other one and between them they're like recording stuff, putting it together. Doesn't really sound. Some of it just sounds like lots of noises, but there is some music in there, tonal stuff in there as well. So yeah. Opera can be a bit much. I prefer the romantic era, Stravinsky, Tchaikovsky. Yeah. See, I'm still learning about what is, there's an era, the romantic era, I can't remember why it's the romantic era either. It's really interesting. It just fascinates me. And when you, well, I'll put radio. Is it Radio 3? Sometimes I'll listen to it, and every day they'll have someone will tell, they'll have an hour of one composer's music, and they'll tell their life story a little bit. And all these composers used to like journal. And this was before social media. Social media was going down the pub, I guess. I don't know. So they'd have these journals saying what they've done every day. So you know, we're now 200 years later. Some guy on a radio can tell the story of Debussy and what he did, and why he did it, and who was his tutor, and which university of music he went to, and what his teacher was like, and all this stuff. And it's like, it's just so fascinating. You don't really have to even see. I don't even have to know who the composer is, or even have heard their music, but just hearing these stories about all these things that are written, that they've written about themselves, but also other people have written about how well it was received, how well their first piece of music was received. It's just like, you know, they're long dead. It's proper mad. But yeah, I'm massive on Debussy, me. Because I heard it like a synthesized performance of it on vinyl as a kid, and I used that as like one of my pillars, one of my influences. TK Muse, which was better than mixing some liquid D&B, get right under my skin. Oh, you mean you like a bit of liquid? Naylor, yeah, my go-to is D&B side too, but if I really want to jaw drop it, I like some Marauder. Essentially whatever genre I'm not familiar with on the production side. BBC Three, yeah, it is good. It is good. They are good. They're good at what they do. There's always some interesting stuff like playing, you know. They might have like an hour or so a day of opera. Well, not opera, but vocally stuff. That's okay. You just put 6 music back on. Yeah, or I quite like choral music though, like old, like early music they call it, where it's really simple, like harmonies of, you know, before they had instruments, they just had like monks in a reverberating room, like harmonizing together, and that just sounds so ancient. It feels like you can sort of almost time travel back. And then there's always been choral music, there still is. That's kind of still just voices, or maybe voices and an instrument, and it just sounds so old and ancient, you know. I love that. I wish I could incorporate some of that into my tunes sometimes, but it's always difficult. Doing that is really difficult. Recording performances, like actual physical performances, it's like very difficult to do. Like, it's an amazing feat that it even happens, you know. From my point of view anyway, because I mean, it's still amazing, but I mean, there's people out there who sing all the time in the houses. They sing everywhere they go all the time, and then they meet up with friends and sing with them. And they're used to it, and they're really good at it. And then someone goes, well, let's record it, and then that happens really easily then. But for me to go out and like arrange that to happen is like not easy. And you know, that's been one of my long time dreams, being a music producer, is to one day compose for an orchestra. And so I tried to learn piano. I tried to learn how to read and write music. Got to like grade 2 in piano. That's as far as I got. I think the only way I can get into actually achieving that dream is by having a composer, working with a composer who knows how to make an orchestra sound good. So TKO Muse, maybe like in the future, like a little collab. Who knows? Because I don't even know what I want. I think I used to know. I used to have all these ideas, and I was like, oh yeah, I want these big strings. It's like big swelling strings, and then do this, and then. But that's useless, really. You got to be able to write it down or capture those ideas because they just fade away. Just write something really exciting for the orchestra. Still want to do it. Still there. I just use this software to do it instead. To try and do it. Yeah, my go-to is on DB. If you like D&B and classical, you should listen. You need to listen to the seduction of Claude Debussy. I've not heard about. But yeah, I am definitely seduced by Claude Debussy, and especially Tomita's synthesized performances of Debussy, which he recorded in like the 70s. Oh, by The Art of Noise, no way. How do I? I've forgotten how you actually do it. Is it that? Did I press the right button? Print screen? No, didn't work. The Seduction of Claude Debussy. By Art of Noise. I will listen to that. Debussy, hang on. Seduction of Claude Debussy by Art of Noise. There we go. Thank you. Arabesque number 2. Oh. Yeah, that's a good one. I want to learn piano. I can plug it using A minor C major method. But other than that, I can't. I don't even know what that method is, to be fair. The last thing I remember doing that was useful in a piano lesson was doing scales. And I can see why she wanted me to do them. I practice every day doing them. And show them that I could do them at the start of the lesson every day, every time, every week I went to see, so she could see where I was at, and to see if I had practice, and if I hadn't, just do the same pieces. You're from the Midlands. I'm in Wrexham, so we're not that far away. An hour on the train. Night TKI Muse. Thanks for stopping by. It's been interesting. Yeah, I will listen to some of your stuff. You will love it. Thanks, John. From one John to another. I bet I will. Yeah, I bet I will. Love a bit of Art of Noise. Like, it was a bit after my time, I think. Art of Noise. There was no one I knew who introduced me to it until I was like a teenager. And I was like, I was already listening to happy hardcore by that point, so my brain was completely washed with fast beats and high-pitched vocals. But there's definitely, it's of that era of sampling, isn't it? Art of Noise is like heavy on the samples. So to hear what he's done with Claude Debussy, I mean, I'm assuming there might be some Claude Debussy actual sounds in there. Well, thanks for the recommendation as well, John. Nail it. Starting on A. Okay. Wait, let's pick a sound. Have we got anything that's... Wait. They all sound quite harsh. That's B. That's A. Any other white note is in A minor. Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Cheat sheet. Yeah. Sounds messed up now, right? That's the worst sound to actually demonstrate with. Okay, A minor. Oh, that's not any better, that sound either, is it? I don't think my message is sending, but what I was trying to say was we could collab sometime. Yeah, we totally should. Just I'd think of it like this, right? Think of Aphex Twin and oh, what's his name? Um, the guy, that orchestral guy who does the quite repetitive stabbing of beats. Oh, that guy. What's his name? That composer who worked with Aphex Twin. I remember the name of the tracks. Was it Drive? I pick it. It doesn't have his name. Oh, what's his name? Philip Glass. Philip Glass. Yeah. I don't know if that it. Yeah. How Philip Glass came to work with Aphex Twin. I bet that's an interesting story. I think I already read the story once, but there's another one. There he is. Yeah. I don't know how they two started working together. I think Aphex like copied, like sampled one of his tracks. I don't know. I'll have to read it again. And then they just somehow worked together. But from what I understand about Aphex, I think his dad was kind of connected to people in music, which probably helped. I'm starting from scratch. Some minimalism. Yeah, is that what it's called? Minimalism. See, I used to write off Philip Glass as, to me, that it sounded too. It's like why listen to that when I can listen to, music made with samples and synthesizers, which kind of do that anyway. That constant. But then one day I was like, no, actually, the massive difference is this is humans playing those rhythms. Those rhythms are like they're like like that all the way through for 5 minutes playing. But obviously they're doing chord changes, but they've been played by a whole orchestra. So there's this human sound to it. It's not a machine. It's people plucking those strings, and you can hear that. It's not just that that that's happening, but you can, if like when I was a bit younger, I didn't understand. I couldn't hear that, but I get it, and it's still called minimalism. I can't do what you're doing, so get me for piano and orchestra. Yeah, I don't know how we can make that work. If you're bouncing to audio and you're doing it to a tempo, then it should be pretty straightforward. I don't know how. Yeah, just someone sent me a vocal. She was like, "Do you want to do a collab?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "Send me some stuff or something." She said, "No, I think she offered to send me some vocals," and I was like, "Yeah, send me some vocal stems." She sent me a track that she'd made as with her singing in it. It's pretty good. I'm like, I'd love to work with that vocal. So can you send me the vocal, dry vocal with no effects? Just send me the. She sent me that. I put it in a drum and bass track that I was just started working on and started from scratch, sort of, and tuned it up 3 semitones to match my bass, because usually that's acceptable because so many dance music vocals are samples and they've been up tuned. You don't usually down tune them, up tune them, and it gives them more energy. She might not be able to naturally sing that high, but it works for the track. It works for the piece of music I'm making. So I can do, I can work like that quite easily. If you chuck me anything of any tempo in audio, I should be able to like do something with it, And if I can't, I'll be like, can that last note, can that last bit go up a bit or something? I don't know. Be able to find a way to communicate it. I can't do it. If you send me some tracks or stems, Okay. Excite the vocals a bit, yeah. Pitch them up. They weren't chipmunk speed, but that could be done as well. Yeah, well, all the other way around, TKA. When my early tracks that aren't D&B, they always sound a bit. They're always going to sound like really rough drafts, you know. And it's not until I've got all the elements together that I can really make it start filling it out. So they might sound really basic if I send them your way in the early stages. Well, actually, I've got one example here. Actually, one quick. Was it Viol? This one. Obviously, like, I've got a string there, and this doesn't even need to be. But you know, it changes, and it's just one solo lead note there, isn't it? But you might be able to turn that into you might be able to put something around that. I don't know. I'll send it to you if you want. It might not be your thing. I don't know. I could send you loads of stuff like that and see what you want to see if you can do anything with it. Imagine if I add some bits to yours and send you the stems. You can do some fun production. Yeah, I think that's what I'm better at. I can still send. I'll send you stuff. If we both send stuff to each other, something might hit off, right? Yeah, let's do it. I should have a pad and pen and paper, because if I write it down anywhere else, you won't see it. I'll remember. How I'll remember is that you followed me, and I'll have to follow you back, and I'll go, oh yeah. Yeah, I'll send you some sort of beginnings of starts of tunes. Most of them will be useless, but you might hear some good stuff. Anyway, yeah, thanks. We've just organised something live on the stream. Nice one, mate. Cheers. Have a good night. You too. Take care. Don't really know what to do with this track next. I should probably go actually as well, because I was meant to go at midnight, which was an hour ago. So, oh, here's a good plugin as well. Delete all disabled clips, because I was really bad for it. So all these grey clips here, see all these? I had loads of them in between. There's loads more here have appeared. I've deleted even more. Yeah. So you don't want to see all this grayed out stuff here, and it takes a lot of effort to delete. So you get this plugin by Elizabeth Homeland. It's a strange name for a plugin company. You turn it on, you press delete. Ready? Gone. It's useful. It's really cleared things up for me. It is magic. It is magic. There's several people who have made plugins like this. One of them's like $10, and I was like, I don't know if I'll use it that often. I can't get it to work on selected mode though, because if you select tracks, yeah, there we go. Let's say if I want to delete everything in those tracks, and then I go to this, the selection disappears. Not ideal, is it? Other cool plugin is adapter metric. Metric AB, which is like what's it called? A referencing plugin. So here's my track. Here's Oculus by Simula. My track. So you can hear you can hear. It just gives me a clue on if I want to sound like this Oculus track. It sort of gives me a few. Like I can hear what needs brightening. Mine sounds muffled. I'm not sure why. Not sure why. That's the interesting thing. Not sure why. First note. Oh, there's like a nice clear hi-hat there, isn't it? That's all. What's this drum here? See, I've ducked all my drums. I might need to add in some hats again. We've got some percussion. Yeah, maybe I just need to increase the volume. But anyway, I'm like, if I don't go to bed now, I'm gonna be doomed tomorrow. I'll be doomed tomorrow anyway, but I mean, like, more doomed. Banned from Earth, followed alive, thank you. Banned from Earth. Banned from Earth. Where do you go? Where do you go? Double doomed. Nice one down. Right. What I'm doing? Oh, I'm not saving this project because I'll save over it. Right, thank you everyone for stopping by and tuning in. I will see you all on the next episode. Well, I don't know what it's called. On the next live. Yeah, take it easy, guys.